Welcome to a new series of Jazz Lockdown, the program that puts our regular panellists of Pete Long, Alan Barnes and Alex Garnett to the test. You are invited to donate as little as £1 towards each show, which will be equally divided between the contributors, with 50% of the total amount going to Macmillan Cancer Support, by following the PayPal link below. Chaired by Alyn Shipton, this episode's special guest is Liam Noble.
Well, welcome everybody to the latest edition of Jazz Lockdown and our very special guest today, Liam Noble. Hi, Liam.
Hello.
We have our regular applauding panellists. So we have Alan Barnes.
Hello, folks.
We have Alex Garnett.
Hello there.
And we have Pete Long.
Good evening.
A contest for the largest, floppiest tie.
Oh,
Anyway,
that's
you don't get
terrific.
extra points for ties, but what you do get is the introductory round. So we're going to start, Liam, you'll get the idea because we'll go around everybody else and then it'll be your turn. So Alan, we're going to start with you. Which alto saxophonist would you listen to when lights are low?
Oh, it's got to be Benny Carter, the composer of the
It is
tune.
indeed. Now, on the 1939 recording of that song, which also had Coleman Hawkins and Chu Berry on it, who played acoustic guitar?
I think it was Charlie Christian.
It was. And a general bonus question, so you can jump in first on this. Christian also played acoustic rhythm guitar in another musician's quartet, which was something of a heaven-bound express. Whose was it?
I think it was Edmund Hall.
And why heaven-bound?
I don't know that bit. I just knew
What was the instrument that Meade Lux Lewis played?
he played the Celeste.
Yes, so it's the Celestial Quartet.
Very good.
Oh,
Anyway, you get half point for that, Alan.
Half a point.
Wow, no, you've got
that's only half a point.
Oh, come on. I'm not going to argue.
I'll give you a point. Right,
No.
Alex, which saxophonist played Mind Games with a well-known Liverpudlian?
Mind games.
Yeah, I think you had an album called Mind Games.
Oh,
And it came out after Walls and Bridges.
I don't know actually, Anne. I'll be honest.
John Lennon was the album maker in 1973, and Michael Brecker is the saxophone soloist all the way through.
Oh, is he? I feel ashamed not to know that.
Which saxophonist, Alex, started out in Long John Baldry's Bluesology and went on to play a lot of nonsense?
I think it's a double fail for me. I don't know.
Well, it could be for him as well, but Alan pissed Elton Dean.
There's an old mill by the stream, Elton Dean.
With whom, got bonus question for everybody, with whom did Elton go soft in 2002?
Was it Soft Machine?
Well, it wasn't just Soft Machine.
Oh.
What did they call themselves? Right. It was Soft Works, which was the version of the band with Alan Holdsworth, Hugh Hopper and John Marshall, which became the Legacy when Etheridge joined in place of Alan Holdsworth. Anyway, well, I think we should move on swiftly to Pete's round. Pete, which British alto player was known by the nickname given to him by Derek Watkins as Cannonball Elderly?
Well, that'd be Roy Willocks.
It was indeed. Who heard trombonist Gordon Campbell playing with Sarah Vaughan with the BBC Scottish Symphony Orchestra conducted by Robert Farnan and liked one of his solos so much he wrote a trombone piece specially for him?
That'd be Mark Nightingale.
No, it wouldn't. Anybody else know?
It was Benny Carter.
It was. Well done. He wrote a piece called DN for GC. Bonus question for Pete. In the 30s, Benny wrote and played Swinging at Maida Vale. Who commemorated the 6 bells in Chelsea with a stampede from the same period? Piece is called 6 Bells Stampede.
I wouldn't have an idea in anywhere.
Anybody else?
Was it the Spike Hughes band?
Yes. And a bonus, anybody, Whose band was filmed at the Six Bells for the film Living Jazz, which was the 1961 debut of director Jack Gold? Anybody know that? No.
Bruce Turner's band.
It was the Bruce Turner Jump Band.
How does he know all this stuff? What's going on inside that?
A very lonely adolescence.
Watching Living Jazz at 4 a.m. on BBC 4. Right. Liam, your turn.
Yeah.
Which jazz composer and pianist said of you, of your recording of his work, it's an inspiration and a challenge for me to carry on the avenues that you have opened?
Oh, that was Dave Brubeck. Yeah.
Indeed. After your Brubeck album.
Yeah. Thanks for the easy question.
Which drummer who died last year had a long association with the Detroit-born pianist Kirk Lightsey?
That would be Dave Wickens.
It was indeed. And in which band, this is more tricky, in which band called Collaboration did Kirk Lightsey play with two legendary trumpeters, one who made his reputation in the 20s and the other who became famous in the 50s and 60s? They never came to Britain, but they played a whole series of concerts in Germany.
God. I have no idea.
Anybody else?
Who we looking for? The trumpet players?
Two trumpet players.
One
did
was
an international...
I think one was Chet Baker.
Nope.
Oh.
No, he did play the Chet Baker, didn't he?
Yeah, but this is one from the 20s, one from the really made his reputation in the 60s.
Roy Eldridge?
No, I'm going to give it away. It was Jabbo Smith and Don Cherry.
Oh, wow.
Good God. I'd love to hear that.
It was called Collaboration, and it was put together for the Berlin Jazz Tage in 1987.
Oh, my God.
I saw them at the Village Vanguard. It was an incredible band.
Wow.
Don was putting the set list together.
Yeah.
That was Don's problem. He was sitting there going, I don't think we know No Rain, No Rest, do we? Right.
And Roses then.
Right, old and new stuff. Pete, your turn now. So which pianist was walking and swinging while stepping pretty towards a froggy bottom?
Jelly Roll Morton.
No. Anybody else?
What was the question? What was the question? Sorry.
Which pianist was walking and swinging while stepping pretty towards a froggy bottom?
Was it Fats Waller?
No.
Oof.
Is it Meadlock Lewis?
No.
Teddy
With
Wilson.
Jerry.
No, I'm going to put you out of your misery. It's Mary Lou Williams. They're all tracks that she wrote for Andy Kirk.
All right.
Yes, they are.
Pete, try this one. Mary Lou arranged Blue Skies for Duke Ellington. What title was the slightly revised version of this chart better known as?
Trumpet.
Trumpet.
No end.
No end.
Yeah, well, as it's Pete's question, I'll get that
Oh,
one.
sorry. I do apologise. I thought it was an old.
It's
Right.
all right.
You're right. I'm getting excited. I'll stop.
And Pete, to which Ellington trumpeter was Mary Lou married for a while?
Ooh.
Taft Jordan.
Sitting next to him, but it's
Harold
not...
Baker.
Yeah, I was going to say, but not quite so tall. Right, Alan. To which trumpeter was Humphrey Lyttelton's long-term colleague Kathy Stobart married?
Bert Courtley.
And quick chance for Pete to pick up a point. Where did Bert die?
Croydon.
Yes. Well done.
What a terrible end.
They all go there to die.
So, Alan, continuing with your questions, which Humphrey Lyttelton tenor player shared his surname with two country musicians from Kentucky who had a 1930s bluegrass band called the Cumberland Gap Boys, and they played fiddle and banjo? And this is one of the wonders of Wikipedia.
They shared a surname
Yep.
with Humph.
No, with one of Hump's tenor players.
Oh, sorry.
Who preceded Kathy on tenor in the band?
Is this for anybody?
No, it's you.
Oh, it's me. Oh, Jimmy Skidmore.
Yes. The US fiddle player.
I was
Fiddler.
struggling there.
I wonder what you're waiting for there.
I
The
did
fiddle's
one of those
called
things
Sherman.
where I went miles away. I wasn't listening anymore. You know, I used to do it at school. Sorry.
The fiddler was called Sherman Skidmore, but the banjo player was actually called Jimmy Skidmore.
Oh, wow. They are.
So Jimmy's son Alan played saxophone in a trio called SOS, Who were the other two?
John Sermon and Mike Osborne.
Yep, well done. Right, Liam. This is going back to university days. Which British jazz pianist was a Cambridge organ scholar who went on to have a long association with Andy Shepherd and currently works with Alison Rayner?
Oh, is that Steve Lodder?
It is. Well done.
Blimey.
With which bassist did you find yourself sharing a surprise ending in a tribute to a larger-than-life musician?
A surprise ending.
Might be the final track on a CD.
Oh, was this the Fat Swallow thing, Mark Lewandowski?
Yes.
Yeah. That's right, there was a surprise ending.
Which American pianist tribute to Waller involves him wearing a huge fiberglass fat's head with the bowler hat on it?
Oh, yeah, Jason Moran.
Yeah, well done.
I've never actually seen that.
It is crazy, I have to say.
I'm going to make a point of seeing that.
He sits there with this enormous head on, and Taras Mateen spends the whole time on the bass guitar absolutely pissing himself with laughter. Don't know if we can say that on the lockdown, but we just did. Right.
Like is it Frank Ifield who had the big head? That comedian.
I don't know.
Oh.
Is it Frank? Oh, I can't remember.
Anyway, right, Alex. Talking of American pianists, which pianist led an Anglo-American big band in 2003, which did a lot of United Kingdom concerts, and in the British part of the lineup was Noel Langley and Byron Wallen, Tony Kofi and Dennis Baptiste?
I don't know, I'm afraid.
Anybody else?
Andrew Hill?
It was Andrew Hill.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I think that was you, Liam, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah. Right, I was looking at the questions, not the answers. Right.
Another one.
Which bassist led the band Saxophone Summit that toured in 2010 and included Joel Frahm, Nigel Hitchcock and your good self?
Oh, of course. That's an easy one. Mr. Whirlwind himself, my niche.
And talking of him, which sisters undertook a whirlwind tour of the UK last November?
Oh, on a plate. That was the Jensen sisters.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, we've now reached the end of that tortuous round, and we come to Just a Lockdown. So the rules are very similar to a well-known panel game. This is our tribute to the late Nicholas Parsons. And what we have to do is talk for a minute without hesitation, repetition or deviation, which we found the last one in particular very difficult last time. And so I think, Pete, we'll go with you first, and you can spell the last word of this any way you like. My favourite sweet.
Oh, sorry.
I've spelt it S-U-I-T-E, but you could spell it a different way if you preferred. So, starting now, for 1 minute, my favourite sweet.
If we take the word suite to mean a suite of musical pieces, my favourite suite is The Perfume Suite by Duke Ellington. Yes?
Repetition, sweet.
No, say as much as I like. It's in the title.
You're always allowed to repeat the words in the title. Otherwise, Alex, you'd have been out in the first 2 seconds. Right. Off we go again, Pete. Incorrect
A
challenge.
shameful intervention there.
Yeah.
Okay. Two of the more fascinating movements from the Perfume Suite are a thing called Dancers in Love, which is a piano solo by Duke Ellington, which caught on very much in the 1960s as he used it as a finger-popping routine with his audience to garner support from the people who turned up to listen to his concert. But for myself, the jewel in the crown of the Perfume Suite is I can't remember what it's called, bugger.
Yes.
Is that hesitation?
I know that one.
Yeah, I think that's hesitation. Who got in first with that, with the squeaky noise?
Oh, that was my soprano mouthpiece.
Right. So, Alan, would you like to pick up? You've got the bonus point. Would you like to talk about my favourite suite for what would 18 seconds, starting now?
My favourite suite.
Thank you,
Pete.
Yes. Pete, what would your challenge be?
I think Alan hesitated.
It's just
You know,
have
I think you're
something
right
in your
there.
brain before you start, isn't it?
Aye, terrible, yeah.
Right, Pete, off you go.
There is another very romantic movement in the Perfume Suite by Duke Ellington, written for the saxophone section by...
Isn't that repetition of Duke Ellington?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
It is. And also Perfume, which he's had 7 times so far, but nobody else seems to have noticed that.
Oh.
Right, Alan, your turn again. You have 4 seconds starting now.
Oh, you bugger.
Such Sweet Thunder would probably be my favourite suite of all time. Oh, the dinosaur.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a bit slow off the mark there. I don't know how my grandson can make him squeak immediately, and with me it's always a delayed action. Anyway, that's another story.
Can we get the dinosaur for hesitation here?
He's very upset now. You've really
Are you
upset him.
referring to me, Pete?
It is now Alex's turn. And Alex, we thought we'd choose a subject dear to your heart. So can you talk for 1 minute, starting in a moment, on the bass clarinet? So bass clarinet starting now.
The bass clarinet is a wonderful instrument, has such rich overtones, and it really is something to behold. In a section, it really underpins a band, I would say, more so than the baritone saxophone.
Yeah, Alan?
Reposition of Really.
Correct. Correct challenge. Alan, the bass clarinet.
The bass clarinet sounds best when in the hands of a master. Harry Carney would be one, such case. Eric Dolphy.
Yes, Alex?
Uh,
Yes, I think that is a perfectly good You get the point and you get the subject back. Off you go.
Eric Dolphy was one of the finest exponents of the bass clarinet, in fact, bringing it to the fore at a time when the bass clarinet was not really considered to be a soloing instrument. It was used really more in...
Repetition of instrument from his earlier speech.
Yep. Good challenge, Pete. Right, off you go, Pete. Now, the bass clarinet.
The bass clarinet has many nicknames, all of them rude, so we can't have them here, unfortunately. But the bass clarinet exists mainly in 2 forms these days.
Was that
One-
deviation?
No, I was about to go on about the... No.
No, I don't
don't know.
think...
Carry on, sir.
The only, you could have said perhaps that that the fire-damaged tenor saxophone might not... Anyway, never mind, we won't go there. Right,
There's something else. It's a part of a horse with spoons on, but never mind.
Yeah.
right, off we go, Pete.
Am I going now? Okay.
Yes.
The bass
now.
clarinet exists in 2 forms mainly. One down to a concert D flat, but in the 1950s they were extended down to a concert B flat, giving it a low written C, giving it a very...
Hey! Whoa!
Oh, somebody could have got me for giving it, but you didn't.
No, you could have got you
Before the
also...
giving.
We could have got you for flat, which you repeated 1 second before the end.
Didn't I? D flat, but Zach, yes, it does count.
Yeah.
D
Oh,
flat.
I've got to sharpen up on this. Yeah.
Anyway, you get a point for speaking while the dinosaur squeaked. So now, Liam, it is your turn. And you see how it works.
I do,
You
yeah.
have got a minute to talk on getting to the gig on time. Starting now.
The first thing to do when you're trying to get to the gig on time is to ascertain what time the gig actually starts. I've fallen foul of this a number of times.
Quite a long air there, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think that was a bit of an error.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Anyway, hopefully it'll come back to you. So, Alan, you carry on with getting to the gig on time, starting now.
Getting to the gig on time is greatly helped if you leave the house at a good time.
Hesitation.
Pete, I think you get hesitation flash on it.
Yeah.
It's all that worry about have you locked the door. Right. Pete, your turn now, starting now with 40 seconds left.
As a band leader and jazz promoter, I am often faced with the other side of the phenomenon that is getting to the gig on time, as I am often found pacing up and down outside the venue, waiting for musicians to arrive.
Repetition of often.
Well done. I wondered if you
How often say often?
Yeah, but not in this game, you don't.
You don't.
Right, Alan, back to getting to the gig on time, starting now.
I've often booked musicians and stood outside the venue sweating slightly as time and minutes and seconds pass, and I start to think, where are they? Why aren't they here? Have they left the house
Repetition of they, I think.
Yes, well done, Liam. Good.
Quite a lot else, I
Don't
think.
do that. I don't actually want to finish this. I just want to point out the mistake.
We'll see how you do. You've only got 10 seconds, so
Oh,
get
God.
into the gig on time, starting now.
Getting to the gig on time is greatly underrated by some musicians. I think it's a very important part of the...
You hesitated on 59:30, so I think that's okay.
Yeah.
Well done. Got the point for speaking through. And so we come to the last one, which is Alan, your special subject, one which I know that you and I have discussed in the days of Humphrey Lyttelton, especially when all the band turned up suitably attired. The subject is band uniforms.
Band,
And, hang on. And here we go, starting now.
band uniforms vary very much between different ensembles. Was that your bell?
I think that was Alex's bell, but it got so excited it didn't ring a clap.
Hesitation between vary.
Yeah, very and vary. Right, Alex, you can carry on, starting now.
The band uniform has changed over the years, especially in the fact of the audience's realization that what you dress like doesn't necessarily affect the music. In the old days, people used to wear very nice suits, all dressed exactly the same, ties, shirts.
Repetition of dressed.
Yes, well done, Pete. So, Pete, a subject dear to your heart too. Band uniforms. Off you go now.
There's a fantastic story about band uniforms that involves Frank Sinatra, Buddy Rich and Tommy Dorsey. Buddy Rich and Tom... Oh, bugger, that's a repetition of Rich, isn't it?
You can't have a point for yourself for repetition.
No.
So who dinged or tweeted first there?
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think it was Alex. So, Alex, you can have that back. Bell works best not in your mouth. But, right, on we go. I know you're a saxophone player, but right, band uniforms starting now again.
It was considered rude not to turn up dressed spick and span, wearing a lovely shoes.
Repetition of dressed.
He's right, you know, you did say dressed a few times.
Dressed? What? Oh.
Yeah, it's all carried on from when you were speaking.
Oh.
Okay, Pete,
So cruel.
here you go again with 19 seconds to go now.
In the swing orchestra I alluded to earlier, the male singer and the drummer were each possessed of a considerable ego. And after a little while of this onstage friction, fisticuffs erupted after the gig one night backstage. The band leader came and broke the fight up, and people...
Well done. What
The
happened
end
then?
of the story.
Yeah, what's the end of the story?
So Buddy Rich and Frank were having a big old struggle, and Tommy Dorsey came and broke the fight up, pulled them apart. Everybody was sort of watching this, and he went, "Thank God for that. Give me your jackets." And he took the jackets and pissed off and said, "You can carry on if you want."
Wow.
Excellent. Right.
The jackets.
Well, that is the end of that round. So now I think we should move on. Liam, everybody who's a guest on this show gets their own set of 10 questions.
Right.
In the last series, we had 2 10s out of 10. Ken Poplawski answered a lot of very detailed questions about himself, remarkably accurately. And that's the principle. So you have 4.5, which was your Bingham score to beat in this series. So that shouldn't be difficult. Let's see how we go. We're going to start, Liam, with your personals. So which guitarist headed for New York but returned to find romance among the fishes?
Phil Robson.
Yep. After your studies in Oxford and the Guildhall, who recommended you for the chair in Stan Saltzman Quartet?
John Taylor did.
Yep. In 1997, who promised you the best is yet to come?
Bobby Wellings.
Now, who owns the label that recording was released on?
Oh, Jazz is it? Oh dear, I've forgotten his name. That's terrible.
Anybody else want to do that for a bonus point?
It's not Alistair Robertson, is it?
No. It's Derek Nash.
Oh, of course it is, yeah.
Right. Who shuffled with a pig's foot?
Pigfoot, Chris Batchelor's group, Pigfoot.
Yeah. Absolutely. Who commissioned your 2002 experimental song cycle based on Japanese death poetry?
Yeah, that was a huge success. I played once. And
Died
never
of death.
again. Tony Dudley Evans, Birmingham Jazz.
Yeah, absolutely. What was stolen in your trio with Ingrid Laubrock and Tom Rainey?
What was stolen? Oh, Sleep.
Yep.
Sleep Thief. Yes.
Who was sharing a room somewhere with you in 2015?
This.
Yep. The Toy Parrot.
The cover of my record, yeah.
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 Which Russian could be seen as a smiling organism?
Genya Strigolev, yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to enlighten everybody about what that means?
No, I've no idea. I did try and ask him.
No, but it's the title of the album that you're both on.
Oh, yeah.
Smiling Organism.
I had
Right.
no idea.
For half a point each, name two other musicians who appear on that album.
Eric Harland and Tim Lefebvre.
Absolutely. That's your 2 half points. My earpiece just fell out with excitement there. So you have scored 9 out of a possible 10. That's really good. So that puts you series leader.
Wow.
Excellent. My scorecard away here.
What to say, as usual.
Right. Scorecard put away. Right. This is the quickfire round. So this is the moment where everybody can pull up their score and we'll see how we go. What year was I Got Rhythm written?
1927.
Nope.
1932.
31.
1930.
9.
Alex.
Damn.
Countless tunes have been written on the rhythm changes. What was Thelonious Monk's take?
Rhythm and
Yeah, Alan got that one, I think.
Are we doing these first? I don't want to be...
No, just go for it, I think.
Okay.
The first time Monk recorded that tune was in 1957 with which band?
Oh, was it 5 Spot with Johnny Griffin?
No.
57. That's the wrong year.
It wasn't Teddy Hill's orchestra. No, it wasn't.
No, 57.
57, right.
Teddy Hill had retired from running Mintons by then.
It wasn't a...
Is it the live gig with Coltrane?
No, I'm going to tell you what it was. It's Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers with Thelonious Monk. It's that big Columbia album they did in 57.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right, well, this augurs well for the next question. He made his second recording of the tune that same year with which baritone player?
Sahib Shihab.
Jerry Mulligan.
Yeah.
Oh, of course it
Something.
was.
Yeah, Monk meets Mulligan, or Mulligan meets Monk. In 1988, Mulligan was composer in residence at which British jazz festival?
Glasgow.
Yep. Which Glaswegian guitarist started life as a local journalist before moving to London?
Jim Mullin.
Yep, well done. What was the name of Jim's most recent album under his own name? And it came up a few weeks ago.
Volunteers.
Yep. Who did the arrangements for that album?
Gareth Crane.
I think Alex just pipped in with a G before Alan there. Right. Which of Gareth's bands won a Mojo Award for the album The Strut?
Grooveyard.
Yep. Who wrote a blues called The Hip Strut?
Jackie
McLean.
I think. Did you get in with Jackie first, Alex?
No.
No. Oh, it was Alan then, I think.
Did
Sorry.
somebody else say Jackie McLean?
Well, you're the one I heard. Anybody else say Jackie McLean?
I said it, but I just kind of mumbled.
Right.
Half in and half out.
Someone
Sort of
said
thing.
Jack Macduff.
At the age of 20, Jackie McLean made his debut recording on a Miles Davis album. What was the title?
Birth of the Cool.
Nope.
No.
That was Lee Konitz.
Oh,
Think about gardening.
Surely not gardening with the Miles Davis Quintet.
No, it's more a specific action that goes on with gardening.
Hoe down.
Dig it.
Dig.
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 Oh, of course. Oh.
Right. This I Dig of You and Dig Dis are both recorded on whose Blue Note album from 19...
Mobley.
Yeah. Alex, well done.
Wow.
What's the name of the album for an extra point?
Soul Station.
Yep. Mobley recorded extensively on Blue Note for 15 years, but his last studio recording, which was on Muse, came out as a joint leadership with Cedar Walton. What was it called? And it's ironic given how many albums he'd made.
My first album.
Not quite.
Introducing Hank Mobley.
No, it's called Breakthrough.
Breakthrough. Oh, God.
Cedar Walton.
Yes, to have your last album called Breakthrough.
Incredible.
Cedar Walton wrote a tribute to his hero Duke Ellington in 1980. What was it called? It's called The Maestro. So this is going to be difficult then. Who was the vocalist on Cedar's album The Maestro?
Chaka Khan, wasn't it?
Nope.
Was it Ian Shaw?
Was it Mark Murphy?
He'd probably be flattered, but it was Abbey Lincoln.
Oh, right.
Which drummer was Abbey Lincoln married to?
Max Roach.
I think Liam just got that one very quickly. Roach often performed a solo piece dedicated to one of his drumming influences. What was it called?
Big Sid.
Yep. Who was Big Sid?
Big Sid.
Alan just got in with that one. Whose all-star lineup did he join in 1947?
Louis Armstrong.
Yep. Well done, Pete. Where was Armstrong born?
In St. Louis.
Armstrong?
Yes.
New
Oh,
Orleans.
brilliant.
Must be. That's New.
I think you self-corrected just in time there, Alex. Right. The Marsalis family are all born in New Orleans, so which of that family plays trombone?
Del Feo.
Yeah, well done, Pete. In 2006, Del Feo appeared on whose album entitled Concrete Jungle, the music of Bob Marley? Very nice man. I helped him find a bar in the Barbican once when he got lost in all those stairs.
Not Maceo Parker, is it? No.
No, begins with M. Monty Alexander.
Oh, right.
Wow.
Which guitarist was Monty Alexander's wife for 4 years?
Emily Remler.
Yep, well done. Who composed Emily?
Johnny Mandel.
No.
Yeah, Liam, well done. Often performed by Bill Evans, which Bill Evans album had that tune Emily for the first time in his repertoire in 1967?
Oh.
So in other words, what's the first time Bill Evans recorded it and what was the album?
Oh, 60. That's not Ray Person I Knew, is it? No.
No.
It's not.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Have you got empathy in the title?
I've just given you a huge clue. I said talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, just conversation. Conversations with myself.
Well, it's actually further conversations with myself, so I'll give you half for that.
Oh,
Which English drummer turned down the opportunity of joining the Bill Evans trio?
Tony Oxley.
yeah.
Yep. That's the man with the largest cowbell in the world. In 1989, did you know that? There's a
Yes,
thing on the
yes,
Sheffield University talking about
Sounds
that.
like the decision might have been mutual.
In 1989, Tony began a working relationship with which American avant-garde pianist?
Cecil Taylor.
Yep. Well
Cecil.
done.
Cecil. Yeah, sorry.
Cecil Taylor. Yeah.
Hesitation. Was wrong round.
Well, Liam, you've triumphed in the individual round, but I have to say that overall, you've taken fourth place today.
It's going to happen. I was
Alex,
prepared.
you've taken third place.
Unbelievable. I clawed it back. I thought I was going to be doing the old nul point finish.
Well, today, Pete has come second with 18 points,
Fantastic.
and Alan appears to have come first with 23 and a half.
Ooh.
So that's what we've got to beat next time. Liam, thank you so much for joining us. It's been
Thanks
great.
for having me.
Yeah, lovely.
I did better than I thought, even though I came fourth.
Well, and it's just lovely to have memories of all those nice things that you've done and musicians from Brubeck to Bobby to everything else. So great. Thank you very much.
Thank
for coming
you.
on. Thanks everybody else. So thanks from Alan.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks from Alex.
Cheers.
And thanks from Pete. And thanks from me, Alyn Shipton. And thanks to all of you for subscribing and making donations to Macmillan Cancer Relief and indeed to the Musicians Chocolate Fund. Thank you all and see you again soon. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
That was Jazz Lockdown, a series of programs devised by Clark Tracy and presented by Alyn Shipton, with Pete Long, Alan Barnes and Alex Garnett, with special guest Liam Noble. You are invited to donate as little as £1 towards each show, which will be equally divided between the contributors, with 50% of the total amount going to Macmillan Cancer Support by following the PayPal link below. Thanks for listening, and we look forward to your company next time.